It's always fantastic to get to talk to some of the nuts and bolts of this country's music that has been iconic for the certainly the time I've been here, but for many of our readers and listeners. And it's always great to catch up with John Brewster. John, thank you so much for your time. How are you?
Oh, fantastic, Sean. Just fantastic. I'm having a great life. Having sons in the band now runs the band. Like when all the logistics. So I just look at the tour itinerary and go, oh, I've got to be at the airport such and such day. I turn up with my guitar and my little case that looks after all my stage stuff, and just play. And so I'm loving it. I'm loving my. I'm on the wrong side of 75 now, and loving life.
Well, you certainly don't make it easy for yourself because I've seen the list of tour dates in front of me for the Am I Ever Going to See Your Face Again 50 years anniversary, right around the country again. You've always been a band that never misses any of those nooks and crannies around the country, which is wonderful, especially for us in WA. And I think we get you twice. Yeah, we get two shows in Freo and in the city in Perth. Um,
Great venues. They're great venues. We really like them. So, and of course, we've always loved coming to Perth. Look forward again.
Wonderful. Well, you kick off on the 4th of June, celebrating this incredible song that has just become an anthem of this country. Taking you right
Mm.
back, when you wrote that song and you fired up that chorus for the first time in the studio, could you ever imagine it would have resonated with so many age groups and eras around the world and around this country?
No, absolutely not. It was our first single after we met AC/DC and they introduced us to Vanda and Young, and then we joined the stable at Albert's. So, when we released Am I Going to See Your Face Again, it really didn't work. It was not a very successful song at the time, and now it's huge. But the with that, it was all, it was all you guys, actually. And probably not you, Sean, because you weren't here then. But yeah, I just think it's wonderful. So we celebrate that. We celebrate a wonderful Larian Australian sense of humour that produces stuff like that. And when I think back with a smile that the last federal election, Albanese was doing a radio show, and would you like to choose a song for us to play? And our Prime Minister said, yes, I'd like to dedicate Never Gonna See Your Face Again to Peter Dutton. Isn't that great?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
That's kind of Australian sense. And but the celebration of 50 years of that song is really a celebration of 50 years of all the other stuff that went around it. The things we did around that song, like some Roseland shopping centres, a 7-Up ad. Barbara Eden was doing some travel show, and we did that. We did a movie. Oh my God, it's such an embarrassment, called the Rocker Movie. We did anything and everything to get exposure, things that we would never do today. But that's all part of the journey too. And then I think about Doc Neeson and the wonderful Doc Neeson. Way too young. And the same with Chris Bailey. Chris Bailey was even younger, and we lost both those guys, and they were a huge part of whole musical trip, which continues. That's the thing. Rick and I, we still play and we really enjoy it. And I have two sons in the band, although Sam's taken a bit of a break from that at the moment. And Nick Norton out the front is just knocking everyone out. He's fantastic. So life's great. But we look back on the road crews, the different roadies that worked for us, came to America with us, and, 2 trucks that were stolen in America. All these things are all part of the journey. And tour managers like the wonderful poets, and then just right through Europe and America in 1980. These people, you remember all these people because it causes us to reflect, which you don't do every day of your life.
Yeah. There must have been so many people have been involved with the band over the years. I remember in our earlier interviews, you've connected me with some of the stories and the music, especially the Marcus Hook Roll Band, which you put me onto, which was a
Mm.
fantastic album. I still go back to after our first ever interview, you put me onto that. And it's just been an incredible being from the UK. Everyone knows the UK story of music, but this country's music is just as exciting and just as intricate and legacies left everywhere. It's been wonderful, but and it's great to see, as you say, sons in bands. And I was going to bring up about Nick. He's really made that role his own now, and
Mm.
the album '99 was a credit to the new chapter of the band.
Very much a credit to Nick because he wrote most of the lyrics on almost all. No, yeah, well, Rick wrote about I think three. He might have written four. I can't remember. So Rick's creative input into the '99 album is huge. So is my son Sam. Sam wrote '99 with Nick, the song '99, which I think it sounds like an Angels classic to me. So I'm proud of my son that did that one. I was less involved. I played on it, and I played it in hotel rooms. In fact, quite a few of the tracks I did in Perth when we were on the road because I'd had a heart attack. Uh, I was getting over that. So the boys went in the studio and finished tracks that we'd already recorded and couple of new ones. And so I did my guitar parts later. So I'm less creatively involved in that album than other ones, most of the other ones. So, and I'm really happy about it because just to see, I've always known about Nick Norton because I got involved with Nick's band when he had a band called Gangarai who were just sensational. I produced some demos with them. It didn't end up doing the distance, but that's because of circumstances and whatever. But I've always known how brilliant Nick is. A great lyricist and a wonderful singer. So the '99 album really reflects that in a big way. And sure, my rhythm guitar's there like it always, but I had less to do. This by hue and cry, I've got a creative input into that, and a song called Leaders of Men, and another one called Escape. Escape is a bit different, but I'm proud of that one too. I think I like that song.
Yeah, and is it still that same energy when writing all that when the young blood are in there doing it as well? Does it make you've obviously just said how proud it makes you feel, but just knowing that there's still more chapters of this band to keep unfolding.
Yeah, I really strongly believe that the Angels as a band or a brand, if you like, although that sounds very corporate, but I think it'll go past Rick and me. But I don't know that. I think Rick and I are very important to the band, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it because if we weren't, but the guitar players and it's a guitar band, I can tell you that I just had both of my knees replaced, so I'm partly a mechanical man now, made of metal. And by the way, it's just incredible. It's fantastic because as you get older, things sort of fall apart. And I can now walk through airports. It's just a breeze, whereas before it was very hard. Standing on stage was hard. It's a breeze now. So while all that was going on, Sam said, "Oh, look, Dad, just take the 6 months off the road, and I'll play the rhythm guitar." Well, he's our bass player, and you should hear him play the guitar. He's
Oh, wow.
he's got the same right hand as me. He just, he's and he can play solos like, and so he's quite a special talent. Teaching music at the school he went to, Oak Hill Grammar in Sydney, and he could step into either Rick or my shoes. Yeah.
Fabulous.
So I don't know. That's a fairly long answer to your question, but I tend to do that. I waffle on, but look, it's just great. I mean, it's great that we have young people come to see our shows and old. It's great that I have two sons and a singer in Nick Norton that actually genuinely love the songs that we wrote way back then. I'm proud of those songs. I think it's a lot of the reason why the Angels goes on. We've now had Doc Neeson sing with us. We've had Dave Gleason, both brilliant. Now Nick Norton, and nothing's changed. We still get crowds and everyone has a great time.
Yeah.
And an audience. An audience has always meant everything to us.
And of course, you've just probably summed up exactly probably one of the ones I never got to see you on last year, but I'd been the year before, was Monday Monday. You can't get a bigger family audience than that. 14,000 people in the middle of the desert singing along to your songs.
I know. That was amazing. And it was quite cold on stage. I remember that. And that's my first knee replacement was 4 days later. I can tell you that I'm on stage just having the time of my life with this wonderful audience. I think it was more than 4,000, by the way. But anyway, we won't argue. But I was in massive pain on my left leg. And I'm going, oh, bring it on, bring it on. I want this knee replaced, And so, the lead up to my knee replacement surgery was quite very painful. But, you don't remember pain.
Yeah. But the surgeon obviously, the surgeon probably found a few kilos of red dust tucked away in your socks from Monday Monday. It got everywhere when I was there.
Yeah, well, that's right. He probably did. But the other thing he discovered with my second knee operation is a friend of mine dropped into the hospital, and I'd only been I think it was the third day after my operation, and he came in with an esky and he had a couple of Peronis in it, in the cans, and I said, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to, I don't think I'm supposed to have that beer. And I said, oh, come on, what the hell do we go? Psh, psh. And then clink, and then in walked the surgeon. And I said to him, Jesus, this is like being caught by the headmaster. He laughed. He thought that was quite funny.
Oh, fantastic. But as I say, the music gets out to the masses all the time. And probably the best version of Have I Ever Seen Your Face Again that was at Perth Concert Hall when you did the symphony show. And you see people sat there in suits and a few made the effort with the tuxedos and the bow ties, and they're the first ones singing the sing back to you as well, stood on their feet, and it was just magical.
And don't forget that the choir also did it.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine was in the choir that night. It was incredible. Yeah, a dear friend of mine, Dan, was in the choir, and he was blown away.
We might do. Yeah, I was speaking to our agent, Tony Grace, who there's another wonderful memory. He's been with us 40 years. And he said, do you want to do Symphony of Angels again? I said, yeah, I do. He said, if you were just going to do one or two, what would you choose? And I went, well, number one, I reckon I'd choose that Perth Concert Hall again because it was fantastic. Hamer Hall, Melbourne was also great. So, watch this space. We might do Symphony show again.
That would be great. Well, the concert hall's been shut down for a year because they're revamping it all. So it's going to be fantastic when it opens up again.
Well, we're not in a rush.
No, those knees apparently have got a 200 gig guarantee in them. So there's plenty more in those legs yet. Yes,
well, let's hope the rest of them has the 200 gig guarantee as well. But I feel younger than I've felt in years. I look after myself. I go to Pilates and ride my e-bike and go to the gym and do walks. We've got a thing called the Bluff here at Encounter Bay, and it's quite it's a climb. So I climbed that a few days ago. I'm pretty proud of that.
Wonderful. Well, the tour starts 4th of June. We'll get all the dates up on the website. Finishing in November. It's a great run, taking
Yeah,
you to every state around the country. And it's going to be great to see you back up on stage. As you say, you've had a little bit of a hiatus while you were getting yourself back on your feet. So it's going to be wonderful
yeah,
to see you all back up there.
yeah.
And I
Thanks very much.
look forward to catching up with you when you get over here.
Yeah, lovely to talk to you as always. Let's not make this the last one.
No, we won't. We'll make sure when we do the 60th anniversary and the 70th.
Yeah, I can see 60. Um, anyway, we won't go there.
Well, John,
Jesus.
thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you out and about.
Yeah, thanks very much, and all the best to your viewers, listeners, and all our fans in Perth. We love Perth. It's very special to us. The whole country is, but Perth is, it's worth the journey.
Well, we're glad
Always.
about that because we're looking forward to seeing you in July, which will be great.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you
Great.
so much, John. I really appreciate it.
And all the best to you. It's Friday. I don't know where you go to where, but for me, right now it's Friday, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
Cheers. Yeah. See you, mate.
See you, mate.